is this tendency towards higher temperature, and this is largely driven by changes in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, so the CO2 and water vapor and methane and so on. And this has been the main driver for this constant warming. But superimposed to this warming, there are oscillation, there are fluctuations.
A dire warning has been issued by the European Environment Agency in a newly published report, urging urgent action to combat the escalating risk of climate change across Europe. The 32-page assessment highlights the continent's unpreparedness to face the increasingly severe consequences of climate change, emphasizing potential catastrophic outcomes. Heat waves could lead to hundreds of thousands of deaths, while coastal floods alone may result in economic losses, surpassing 1 trillion euros annually. The report stresses the necessity for immediate policies targeting healthcare system, agriculture, and critical infrastructure, as extreme heat and drought events, once rare, are now becoming more commonplace. It warns that without decisive action, climate risk could reach or catastrophic levels by the end of the century, even if the goal of the Paris Agreement are met. Furthermore, the report identifies southern Europe as particularly vulnerable to climate-related hazards on food production, with less than 2% of Europe farming subsidies allocated to managing such risks. Recommendations include setting requirements to protect outdoor workers and developing new building infrastructure standards to mitigate risk to critical infrastructure. Europe has already experienced devastating climate events in recent years, including unprecedented floods in 2021 across Belgium, Germany, and the Netherlands, causing 44 billion euros in damages, with severe wildfires in Italy that burned over 150,000 acres of forest. Flash floods in Slovenia in 2023 resulted in damage estimated at over 10% of the country's GDP. Over the past 40 years, climate-related events have accounted for 85,000 to 145,000 fatalities in Europe, with extreme heat waves in 2022 alone causing more than 60,000 deaths. Economic losses with weather and climate-related extremes in Europe countries exceeded 650 billion euros from 1980 to 2022. Urgent action is imperative to address these pressing challenges and mitigate the devastating impacts of climate change across the continent.